college football game of the year was last
yeah.
weekend.
Roll Tide!
Don't give a piss
Don't give
about
a
nothing but the time.
Wow, what a game.
That one hurt. The
one hurt.
Bama-Georgia game, it looked like it was a blowout, 28-0 out the gate. And then the Tide just started collapsing or
Yeah, I
just
don't know.
let off the gas, let Georgia just flow right back in the game.
Carson
Took the
Beck
lead with 2 minutes left on a deep touchdown pass. And then next play, Ryan
play.
Williams, 75-yard
I mean,
touchdown.
come on now.
Dude, speaking of laying
Unbelievable.
off the gas, did you guys see when the camera panned over to Nick Saban at halftime and he was like not impressed? He was
Not
like,
even a
this,
smile.
This
Yeah.
job is not finished.
Yeah, he just knew
Like,
he
don't-
knew it was they were coming
Yeah.
back. Carson Beck had a rough first half, but like absolutely
I mean, it was
bounced back.
unbelievable
He ended the
second
game
half.
27 for 50, 439 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks and a fumble. So 4 turnovers.
Technically,
I mean,
5.
you also have
He
to
also had
realize
safety.
he went
Yeah.
That was terrible.
True.
2 turnovers first half, 2 turnovers second half. So it's like, yes,
And it was
he
on
did
that
play,
last play of the game.
He did play better in the second half, but not
It was
that
unbelievable in the
much
second half.
better.
Well, the majority
He was better.
It was a
willed them
pro
back in that
quarterback in
game.
the second. I watched a pro
He's
quarterback play
one
against
ugly
a Bama
motherfucker
defense.
though.
Oh, he's ugly.
Yeah.
But he was.
I mean,
I haven't
that's
seen a guy pick
besides
apart a
the point.
defense.
But
like
if
that
we're
in a long
talking
time.
about quarterbacks playing at the pro level, Jalen Milroe,
Oh my God.
27 of 33, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick passing. 16 carries, 117 yards,
I mean,
2 more
he's so good.
touchdowns on the ground. A flawless game from Milroe. And then the star of the show, the most famous receiver in football now, Ryan Williams, on every ESPN channel,
Literally.
every comment. 6 receptions, 177 yards, and a game-winning touchdown for a 17-year-old 5-star. I mean, he's the best freshman receiver I think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And
Not as good as Jeremiah
the whole world just
I
got
was
to see
waiting
it.
for that.
No,
What'd you say?
not as good as Jeremiah Smith, but yeah. He in the situation.
he's 17, bro.
But Jeremiah Smith's 18.
Oh.
Or like 5. It's like whatever.
They're
difference.
both 5-star freshmen.
But I'm saying
Yeah,
it was the situation that made someone it was against Georgia in a big game. Jeremiah Smith hasn't got to shown that yet. But like just pure talent. I mean, Jeremiah Smith. We saw the one hit. It isn't a Jeremiah Smith.
You know what?
show.
To be
Ryan-
fair,
You'd
though,
love
to-
for it to be a Jeremiah Smith.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
it
though,
will be soon.
it's a lot harder for Jeremiah Smith to show like how good he is because his quarterback situation is so much worse than Milroe and Ryan Williams.
No, it's just because they haven't played anyone.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
just what Ryan said.
yeah, it's because
Yeah,
the
maybe.
level of game was huge.
You're playing
at
Michigan
Ryan.
State and Akron. Your highlights are like, oh, sick. But
Yeah,
like
that's a good
you're
point.
against,
Oh, one
like,
in a
high
catch.
school-
But like, I mean,
No,
I'm
Ryan
Porter,
Williams.
you know?
That's fair.
that
That's
game was one of the best wide receiver shots I've seen in a long time.
Oh
just
my
period.
gosh, that's just how clutch it was.
crazy.
Even the one he had before that,
The
that was
tips?
the two
Yeah.
double tip to himself, the concentration it takes to do that.
His dead leg spin
Unbelievable.
move
Oh
is
my-
one of the sickest moves I've seen.
When they
He's
run
so
into each
filthy
other.
And he
with
dead
that.
legs and he does it every play too.
Yeah.
It could be a 5-yard screen, dead leg.
That's the one thing about Bama Georgia games is regardless of how they start, the endings are always just belligerent.
Do we need to
Like,
talk
so
about Kirby
electric.
against Bama? It's never been a conversation, but
what 1 in
I
6?
mean,
1 in
yeah,
6?
he can't.
Well,
he
also,
can't.
I mean, that's
did you
wild.
see his reply to that, which I kind of liked? Like they were like, "Oh, you're 1 in 6 against Bama," like trying to like be like, "Hey, you can't get past him." He's like, "Do you have every other coach's record against him? Like, is anyone that much better than 1 in 6?" The answer was not many. There was one coach that had won 3 times. Dabo's won twice. I think Dabo's 2 and 3 against him. And then there's one coach back in the day against Bama that was like 3 and 5. But there are not many teams that have winning records or 500 records against Bama.
no.
So
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
I can't
that-
think of winning records.
no,
Just crazy.
I
That's
know Les
one
Miles
win.
won a couple times.
that might have been him that was 3 and 5.
Yeah, the
honestly,
old LSU
I think
guy.
that might have been Les Miles. But yeah, no, I mean
Damn.
Ken DeBoer or Kalen DeBoer looked
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was perfect.
He had that team ready to go.
Besides second half, their defense needed to like just breathe for a second.
yeah,
But
I mean, you guys were sharp. You were on Bama that game.
yeah,
so.
but I think it was literally what I think. Georgia isn't the team that we think they are. That the past 2 years, in my opinion, their defense isn't even close to it. Their defense used to carry this team, and then their offense would Stetson Bennett. You didn't need anything.
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite. You have an amazing quarterback with no defense. My opinion, no defense. I looked terrible. I think they did the Ravens when they slowed down at the end of the game. But like,
There's something I don't know. I agree with you that this Georgia team isn't the team that won back-to-back national championships and then was undefeated in the regular season and lost an SEC championship last year. Their only loss in those 3 years was to Bama. And same actually now. Their only loss is still to Bama. That's the only team they ever lose to. So I don't know how much stock I'm putting in losing to Bama in Bama. Like we got to remember, I don't know if Bama wins in Georgia. Like this was the fact that this was a home game.
In
I think was
Tuscaloosa with the stadium
unbelievably
rocking.
huge because in the beginning of this game, it felt like if you played college football, the stadium pulse was on a million.
Yeah.
Like when they were
Off the
scoring
charts.
and then punting and scoring and turning it over and scoring, it just felt like a freight train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the Bama home field advantage is real. They had Trump at the game. The stadium was going nuts. I mean, that environment was crazy. Props to Alabama, though. I mean, winning that game as home underdogs with a brand new coach is no easy feat. How do you guys feel about kind of where this leaves the SEC? I mean, Bama's obviously, the
forefront of the
in
nation.
in the conversation for best team in the league by far. I was gonna say NFL in college football by far, but like this kind of leaves the SEC in an interesting spot. Georgia with one loss. We'll talk about Ole Miss in a different video, but Ole Miss with a loss now. Texas plays Georgia now. Bama plays Tennessee.
I think it's in shambles for the committee.
I was gonna say, how do you see this
LSU
shaking
has a
out?
lot.
I was
I
saying
think
shit,
it's-
Missouri is in their conversation.
Yeah, they're
They-
undefeated, too.
They haven't lost.
Yeah.
I think
game
it's
this week.
very dependent on how Bama plays against Tennessee on October 19th.
And also
Because,
how
I mean-
Georgia plays against Texas. If Georgia beats Texas, the whole fucking thing is flipped.
Yeah,
on
you're
them.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. Because
Smack,
then
throw,
everybody
I have
has
no idea what's going
Tennessee
on.
beats Bama. Georgia beats Texas.
Then
They
Tennessee,
all have
then
one
Tennessee
loss.
win. No, Tennessee hasn't
Tennessee,
lost.
baby.
But doesn't Tennessee?
Nico.
Oh yeah, Tennessee doesn't
Tennessee
have a loss,
hasn't
but I
lost.
think they play. Is it Ole Miss? I'll look up their schedule. But go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's not really. Besides the SEC conversation, I was just gonna say for my take on Bama, I take back everything I have ever said about Jalen Milroe,
Can't
Kalen
throw,
DeBoer.
can't
Jalen Milroe can throw.
Yeah.
DeBoer can coach.
DeBoer is one of the best coaches in college football
this is the game.
and in the nation. The guy has something out against Nick Saban's coaching tree. He just knows how to pick them apart. And yeah, buy every flower shop in the entire nation and send it to Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Williams, and Jalen Milroe.
Buy all the flower shops.
All
Buy all
flowers.
the flower shops
The
and
game-
send all the flowers to them.
By the way, the Tennessee game I was referencing, I knew they had one more huge game. Is Georgia? They play at Georgia, so they
it's
go
gonna be
home.
shit. SEC's in
So they have
shambles.
home against Bama and then at Georgia. So if they beat Bama and then Georgia wins that home game,
And
it'd be
Georgia beats
every,
Texas, and
It'd be
then-
every
Oh my God.
top of the every one of the top teams
And then
has
Missouri
one loss
just comes
to
in.
each other.
Just comes sneaking in.
Wait, so then actually, how do they decide the SEC championship at that?
I'd have to look
Is
into
it
what
by
I'd have to
point
look in
differential?
I'd have to look into what the tiebreakers are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I mean, we'll definitely dive into that more. I mean, there's still 8 games left on every team's
Yeah.
schedule, so a whole lot of season left. But yeah, unbelievable college game.
Real quick,
Bro-
should Bama
yeah.
be the number 1 team in the country?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes. All around?
100%.
I say
they are right.
I say yes.
Yeah,
I say yes.
Okay, yes.
But to me, it's not like runaway.
No,
I
but
still
it's
think like
Texas
when
is right
Texas
there.
is clicking, like, they're
Yeah,
not
I mean, I
gonna-
was just wondering.
I just want to say preseason we gave out who we thought would be Heisman.
We're gonna talk Heisman in a little bit.
I know.
but
I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Jalen
Jalen
Milroe,
Milroe shout out. That was my strongest pick.
Did you see?
No, we
this?
have.
looking a little-
We have. You know, we have all 3 because I said Genty in my long shot. He said Cam Ward,
Yeah,
and he said Travis Hunter.
yeah. No,
We have every single
have-
Heisman.
we
If
gave
you were
out all
following our bets,
the
we have
preseason.
every single one.
Have you seen the votes though for the AP poll? So just to close out, Alabama has 40 first place votes. Texas has 19. In the coaches poll, however, Texas has 29 and Bama has 19. So
Wow.
the coaches feel Texas is the best team in the country.
Damn.
AP poll weights it more off of like how big the games you've won are. So
Yeah.
obviously beating Georgia is bigger than a win in Michigan.
You know what's
The way
interesting
Michigan's
too is we have no possibility of reclaiming the number 1 place unless Bama loses to Tennessee because Tennessee is ranked higher than Georgia now. And so our win over Georgia would mean significantly less
Well, the
than
answer
Bama's
the answer
win
to that
over
is winning the
Tennessee.
SEC championship. You don't need to win it before the playoff selection,
Yeah.
and the winner of the SEC will be the one overall.
Your
Oh, that's a
ranking
good
means
point.
nothing
That's a
until
good
you
point.
play
Yeah,
the SEC championship.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
that's your chance to win.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
a good point.
Bama Georgia game of the
That was
year
game
by
of the
far.
fucking
So
decade.
that was
So
an
fun.
unbelievable
Crazy
football
game.
Oh,
football
yeah.
game. Congrats to Bama. That was huge, and we got a huge week 8 on the horizon though.
Oh,
that we're
it's
talking
massive.
about the Bama,
I see it.
Tennessee, Georgia, Texas.
October
A-
19th, baby.
A lot coming up in the horizon, so stay tuned, stay locked in at DJ Hours, and enjoy some college football. Comment, roll tide, roll tide.